So those servers will play and live very nicely on a 2003 Active Directory network. So that does work just fine, even if you're not in an SBS environment. So, okay, now we got John A. Does the Windows Server 2008 R2 have a good remote software that will allow you to only view client windows for monitoring purposes? John is apparently a spy.
You know, that is the first time I have ever been asked that question, and the first time that I'll have to answer. I've got to look into that unless maybe Derek or Tim, you know the answer to that.
I can't say that I do.
I do not believe that it's built in by default. There's the remote assistance piece is still there as it was with Vista and with Server 2008. And there's still the same remote desktop. It's still on the server side. You can log in and RDP exactly the way you've always done, but it's still a situation where you're not going to see what the other people are doing on the machine. On the client side, it's still the same as it's always been, where if you try to RDP into a particular client, it's going to log whoever it is that's already logged on the machine off of the machine. So I don't believe that there is anything built into the operating system that will do that. I know there are a number of third-party applications that will indeed allow you to do that, though. So that's I don't think, my answer would be no, you cannot do that out of the box, but there are third-party products that you can purchase if you want to do that, and I know what they are, but no, I'm not going to tell everybody on this broadcast. Okay, so Larry asked, I just got Windows 2008 non-R2 and want to know if I need to get R2 in order to have the Windows 7 policies that they are currently using on Windows XP so that those policies will work with Windows 7.
So as far as I know, to answer that question, there have been enhancements to group policies, but there's backwards compatibility, so your group policies aren't going to break or need modification to step up to R2 from 2008.
Okay. And I know that we made use of the new R2 policies here simply by running the RSAT tools. And if you don't know what RSAT is, go to Microsoft.com to search on RSAT. It's the remote server administration tools. Did I get that one right? I think I did. I'm going to pat myself on the back for making that up. But you can. That's basically it's the old admin pack from Windows Server 2003 days. But that's where you're going to run all those things. I run that on my Windows 7 client here and have since January of this year, and it has been no issue at all. The thing that happens, and that was when we were still on the Server 2003 network for Active Directory. What you cannot do is then go to the server and try to modify group policy from there. Once you make the dive into doing it from a client or from one of these servers, you can't go back to any of your other down-level servers to do it. So even Server 2003 can store and apply the new policies, but you've got to administer them from either a Windows 7 or a Server 2008 R2 OS in order to actually create and administer those policies.
Yep. So,
all right. Gregory is asking, regarding 2008 R2 and Exchange 2010 RC, says he was able to make use of it, although the beta required some special updates. Is there an intended time frame for it to be considered a supported configuration? Also, are there any plans for EBS 2008 to be upgraded to R2?
Yep. So just to clarify for folks, the unsupported configuration was Exchange 2007 Service Pack 1. So at release date and, RTM, somebody said on here was announced last week. So Exchange 2010 is supported from day one on 2008 R2. Microsoft always has a policy of supporting with its software the current operating system at the time and the previous operating system before it. So when 2007 was released, 2008 was the currently introduced and coming operating system, and 2003 R2 was the previous. So again, the Exchange team may have been making a special provision for a new service pack that will support R2. But Exchange 2010 completely supported day one and also supported on 2008. So hope that clears that up. With regard to the EBS question, EBS, again, just like Small Business Server, is that specialized integrated suite of solutions. So mating Exchange, and EBS mating System Center Essentials onto the Windows Server platform and simplifying and streamlining the management and configuration of those solutions. So in the same way that SBS will not be following the exact timeline of release for R2 because of those software considerations, EBS is in the same boat. So you should expect to see an EBS R2. You should not expect to see that this month with all the launch events and all of that stuff going on around the Windows Server 2008 R2 core launch. Thanks for the question.
Excellent. And I actually this is kind of on a completely different topic, but I actually just became aware of this a few days ago. If for anybody out there that's listening, keep your eyes open, and if you have a user group actually in your local area, you might want to hit them up or try to find out about that. Some of the work that I do with the local user groups around the United States and Canada, I became aware of the fact that actually we're going to try to get the EBS team out of Redmond and traveling, and we're trying to get them for sure to the east and west coast, to the northeast corridor, and into Los Angeles and San Francisco, into the Bay Area. So they will be out giving live demos, possibly doing some giveaways, some different things like that. So please be sure to, again, if you're in one of those areas, go out and do Bing and check on your local user group in that area. You may be able to very possibly get out there and then visit with the EBS team firsthand and ask them some of these questions regarding what their timetables are for some of these products, or it might be something where they've just been able to get some of this stuff out. So, and that's something that's going to be coming up yet this year between now and Christmas. So just want to make that available to everybody because there seem to be a number of questions around EBS out here.
Yeah, that's a great reminder, and just I'll go ahead and plug that for the EBS team. Either check with your user group or check the EBS blog. Some of you may in the past we've done these kind of road shows for Small Business Server. We tied EBS in a little bit last year, but that's a lot of fun. Good chance, pull the actual developers, people who not only manage the product and the marketing, but folks who actually wrote code for that product. So pretty unique opportunity to interact with them. Pretty cool, pretty fun.
Yes. Okay, we got a question here from Larry. Does MS Dynamics SL run under 2008 R2?
I think it depends on the version of SL that you're running. So we run SL65, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to run on R2. But the newer versions may.
I know I don't know SL. I know GP. We run GP here. Officially, as of a week and a half ago, the last time I checked, it was still not listed as a supported OS. Now that it's always hard to tell, and I'm in the same boat as everybody else here. You never know if it's just something where it truly isn't supported, or it won't work, or if it's just something where the website hasn't been updated yet. But as of right now, like I say, I know for the Great Plains side of it, GP did not list our server 2008 R2 as a supported OS yet at this time. I would assume that SL is probably in a similar boat.
Well, if SL7 feature pack and later versions are supported,
is it? Awesome.
Prior to SL7, it's not supported yet, and I'm honestly not sure what the product group plans there are.
Okay, so there you go. So yes, depends upon your version, but if you're on the latest and greatest version of SL, yes, you are supported for R2. Awesome. I want to point out here, if there's any more questions, feel free to continue to get those in. Appreciate all those. I do want to have the feedback page up here. We have more of these coming up. You can always hit me up with my email address here, tim.vanderkooi@colmanist.com. And we have an entire series of these coming up basically every other week for the next year, and so we've got a ton of different topics coming up, a lot of different products being released. I'm really excited about some of this stuff coming up. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear if there's any particular products you'd like to hear about or topics you'd like to hear discussed. So please let me know if there's anything there.